The weapon I'm actually holding in my hands isn't a rathalos flame splitter, it's Rampage switch axe. Welcome to my Monster Hunter Rise meta game version 3.0 fire switch axe video, and I'm gonna show you how to out damage the Gnashing Flammenbeil and the Rath flame splitter. In the previous meta, both switch axes were pretty much the same. In the last game version, they've done about 115 or 116 cycle DPS, so we're gonna make a quick recap first. So here you can see all the fire switch axes. You can see here the Gnashing Flammenbeil with 278 attack and 37 fire element. So this weapon had a pretty cool fire element, also with an elemental Phial. On its build we have used weakness exploit 3 with crit boost 2 and crit I4, attack boost 4 and no power prolonger on this weapon. And I also talked with Exe, he's a switch axe speedrunner, and he also uses power prolonger on the elemental Phials. So maybe I consider it or not, but we will see. I'm gonna show you the best build either. Here, if we click on this link, we can watch the data. You can see here on a weakness exploit or on the monster weak port 142 cycle DPS, and on the non-weakness port only 90 DPS, and 90 DPS is pretty bad considering, for example, Goss Harag or so, when you do a set SD, you often clutch to the back, and only there is the hit zone value about 30. And we also have the Rath Blaze splitter build by Benji. Benji is a very good TA speedrunner. We are using elemental exploit on the switch axe, and you can see it here. We're gonna open the link. Also with elemental exploit, we are only doing 115.7 DPS. So that's like the engine of switch axe. You can see here it's for non-weakness ports stronger, and for weakness ports a little bit less damage, but all in all both switch axes are pretty the same. I recommend using the rathalos in the last game version because yes, you don't bounce off any times on the hard monster ports, and also yes, the element got better affected with the white sharpness for the multipliers. So we're gonna go to the smithy, and I'm gonna show you the previous weapon, or in general the fire elemental switch axes. And I have to say that actually all fire switch axes were pretty bad. You can see it here. This rathalos blaze splitter had 2 level 1 slots. Fire 30 is pretty low, but still better than Rampage. Yes, and the only bad thing on the Rath blaze splitter, and also the reason why now the Rampage switch axe is better, we needed 4 level of handicrafts. And that were just too much. And we also had the NGNF switch axe, which also was pretty good, but we can't reach white sharpness on the switch axe. Damage output was still pretty good, but yes, you can see also here the fire element from 20 is absolute horrible for elemental fire on general, for elemental switch axe. And so now the way to go is I'm gonna show you my Rampage switch axe and show you how to ramp up this weapon. I think you know how to craft the Rampage switch axe, and I'm gonna show you the things I've used. I've used sharpness type 1, so we need only 1 level of handicraft, fire 3, so we get 20 fire attack, and now the most important thing is attack surge. The thing we play elemental switch axe for Rampage is we're gonna push the raw so high as it is possible. Yes, and don't use any crit skills, because Phials can't crit. The soaring dive bomb, like I can show you here on the switch skills, the soaring ribbon blade also can't crit, and there are a lot of moves that can't crit, so this is the way to go. The next thing I'm gonna show you is now the DPS sheet. I have 2 best possible different builds. The mathematically best build is to use NO WEX, attack boost 4, and Counter Strike 3. Also, you can see here, Power Prolonger 3 is pretty much better than only Power Prolonger. Sorry, Power Prolonger 3 is pretty much better than only Power Prolonger level 2. Considering there is the best build you can slice in level 5 fire attack, so you gain 28 fire attack, which is still pretty bad, but you can see here the damage output at the end is 120.6 cycle DPS. You can see here, if the files get affected by Rapid Morph, the file damage is 41, and that's extremely powerful for the Rampage Switch Axe. You can see here we have a negative crit of 0.75, and yes, 30% chance to get a negative crit. But you can see here the damage output is still absolutely decent. Exactly 100 cycle DPS on a 40% value and 141.2 on the monster weak part. So this is the mathematically best build, but I don't really recommend it, but because I've read a lot of comments where you say a lot of you maybe not like to use the Counter-Strike skill. For everyone who wanna rebuild a set, he can click on this hyperlink, and then a document opens, click on search, and you can see here at the bottom there is the build you can use. You can use for that build a Rapid Morph 2 talisman, or a Rapid Morph 1 talisman is enough because of the Almudron helmet with a level 3 and a level 2 slot. So maybe a little bit tricky to get. And the thing is, for the Rampage build, you need a pretty good charm. And if you don't have that charm, you can use the old build I showed you in the game version 2.0 if you didn't have this charm. It's a Rapid Morph charm with a level 3 and a level 2 shot. Now I'm gonna show you my recommended set. With this build you have exactly 300 attack and 25 fire element. Attack boost 4, Counter Strike level 1 and level 3 agitator. I showed you in the previous video this set. For the water set, I had on this build level 4 attack boost and level 5 agitator. You deal 119.1, but I think with Counter Strike 1 and agitator 3 it is slightly more better. You can also use the previous set, but the thing is, on this set you have Power Prolonger level 3, and on the agitator 5 build only Power Prolonger level 1. I recommend using this set because Counter Strike 1 is very powerful. It gives you at the first level 10 attack, so it does 0.7 more DPS than in the last video I've shown you. And I'm gonna show you also the morph sheet. Here we have the morph sheet. You can see here the negative affinity is 23. Yes, with 0.75% of the critical boost, critical hit rate. Also Rapid Morph 3. Power Prolonger is maxed out. You can see here 141, pretty decent, 98.5 on the non-weak part, and all in all about 120 cycle DPS. So I'm gonna show you the set. I tried several runs with the Goss Harag. Maybe you know my record was 3 minutes and 48. I didn't broke this record, but I still get every time decent sub 4-minute runs on the Goss Harag. So also what I forgot to show you, the other combinations I've tried. For example, I've tried to use a maxed out attack boost, so attack boost 7 and no other crit skills or what else, and only 116 cycle DPS. So using attack boost 7 is pretty weak and I don't really recommend it. I think the best combination is to use attack boost 4 Counter Strike, a mix of Counter Strike and agitator. So I'm gonna show you the ramp up skill, sharpness type 1, fire 3 and attack surge. And now to the decorations. Rampage Slicer S doesn't have any slots, so we go to the Almudron Helm, Enhancer and the Counter Tool level 2. On the Shuratodos Mail, 3 Grinder Tools. On the rathalos Braithas S, a Sharp Tool level 2. On the Engine F Coil S, a Sharp Tool 2 and 2 Blaze Tools. On the Goss Harag Sub S, a Blaze Tool 1. and on the Rapid Morph 1 charm, 1 level of handicraft and a sharp drill 2. So like I explained before, if you don't have this charm, you can use the old set from the 2.0 update. Maybe you do about 2 or 3 cycle DPS less, but yes, the old set is also pretty good, but this set is, I think it's more decent and does still a pretty stable amount of damage. So I'm gonna add a run with a Goss Harag Sub 4, and it was pretty fun to play with the Counter-Strike skills. You can maybe tell me in the comments if you like using Counter-Strike or not. And yes, that was the skills. I've already explained you: attack boost 4, agitator 3, fire attack 3. Also 1 level of punishing draw, which is sometimes pretty cool if you're using the soaring dive bomb that gets stun affected, which is also pretty cool. And yes, have fun with the set. See you next time when I show you the compilation of the elemental builds. The only bad thing is actually, I recommended you in the previous video that maybe you can use stun fire instead of power fire. You can see here, but this is actually a bug from Capcom, and if you apply, for example, exhaust fire, the file type stays still the same. You can see here, when you use the elemental file, it works, it goes green. But for the other file types like exhaust and other file types, it doesn't change. So it is actually a bug, and I hope Capcom fixed that. So have fun with the set, and see you next time. And I'm gonna add the run now.